Hello, trappers, and welcome to the Trap NBA podcast. I am Lockie Edward. Joining me today is Lewis Wells.
Hello.
Gianni Miko.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Vincent Miko.
Hello everyone.
And Lamont Docker back in the saddle.
G'day fellas, how are we?
Fantastic.
You're here, mate. It's been a while.
Has been a while, certainly has been. Glad to be back.
Good to have you
It's
back.
a pleasure to hear your wonderful voice through the airwaves again.
I love it. I love hearing your wonderful voices through these airwaves over here, mate.
You're one of the many to say that.
Oh,
One of the many.
What's been going on, Docs?
Mate, not a whole lot. To be honest, obviously, given the situation the world's in at the moment, that's no secret. But, mate, just for me, it's work and it's being at home, being socially responsible. Only going where I need to, mate. I hope everyone else is doing the same.
It's truth, mate.
It's true.
You're one of the guys, Lamont. You're one of the great guys.
How is social responsibility treating everybody?
Fairly well.
Well, for me, it's nothing different because I'm always socially responsible. So for me, it's just kind of going about what I've always been, and that's just doing the right thing, always abiding by what I'm told, by the law, and just being a correct citizen. But how's it treating you, Louis?
Yeah, mate, I can't say I've been going out too much or doing too much at all, so I suppose I've been abiding by the law. However, I will spill the beans. Since the restrictions were lifted, I did go visit the Mikos the other Easter Sunday for a bit of lunch. So,
Mate, this would be a secret.
Uh-oh.
Controversy.
Controversy.
Uh-oh.
Wait, I didn't even know restrictions were lifted.
News to me, actually.
Well, how are the Mikos? What did the Mikos go through over Easter?
Well, not that much.
Wow, thank you.
Obviously,
Thank you. That's an exciting answer.
obviously, just staying at home. Our local little basketball hoop in the park there got closed down, so we can't really go out and shoot some hoops, which sucks.
How'd they close that down? Did they put like a thing around it, or
They just put like a almost like it looks like scaffolding, but it's not. Just a fence around it with tape.
you know, that's probably because there's probably a bunch of people going to shoot some hoops.
Well, clearly the
every
Mikos aren't
time.
abiding by the rules. They had a big Easter party on Sunday, and so I guess what would the fence wouldn't stop you guys?
Oh, so it was a loaded question, was it? Oh, I understand.
I see. Are you working for the police, look?
Hey, that gun was locked and loaded. No, we other than having Lewis, who has been self-isolating for 3 weeks, just out of the goodness of his common sense.
Mate, he was originally dropping off a nice little bag of goodies, alright?
Yeah.
We extended the offer, alright? So did everyone else enjoy their Easter? How was everybody's Easter break?
One too many chockies, mate, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, you can say that again.
Yeah, plenty of Easter eggs.
Give me a quick Lockie's list of your top 5 Chucky eggs.
Oh wow, it's just off the bat. No.
Off the bat.
That's right,
I guess
save it for the pod.
I'm going to start at 1 this time because it's so hard to think of, backwards. Best chocky
Yeah, you're right.
is
Lateral
probably
thinking.
a twirl.
A twirl.
A twirl. You know twirls?
Yeah, I know
Is that an
twirls,
Easter
mate.
chocolate?
Oh, Easter. Well, Easter's only what am I saying for Easter? What? Cadbury, Lindt, Red Tulip. Oh, Kinder. That would be in there. And I guess 5. Ferrero Rocher.
There you go. There's a quick Lockie's 5. Lockie's list, sorry.
Very nice. I like that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, put right off the bat. But I guess quickly what we'll do is we'll tell our listeners what they're in for today. What they're in for today is they're going to get off the bat with the NBA news. Our fan favourite, one of our old segments coming back where we go to the latest news in the NBA. And then the other thing we'll be doing today is we'll be doing an NBA players under 25 draft. So what we do here is each of us will be drafting our team of 5 based off any player who's under 25. That will be that. And it'll be a random order. We don't know the order yet, so we've got heaps of good players in the mix, and Yeah, so we'll be doing that, which will be exciting.
Yeah, man, can't wait.
But before that, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us at The Trap. Would like to dedicate this episode to anyone struggling with COVID-19. Obviously, we had the sad news in the basketball community of Karl Anthony Towns' mum losing a battle to COVID-19, which is very sad and it's very close to home to all us basketball fans. And I guess it made it very real of the impacts of COVID-19. It can affect anybody. So we'd like to dedicate this episode to anybody struggling with COVID-19 and wish them all the best.
Well said.
Yeah, man,
Absolutely.
for sure.
So, do you want to get into it?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
All right, well, let's get off with the NBA news. So the first bit of news we want to talk about this week is the clear rift between Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert on the Utah Jazz. So obviously this came to light after Rudy Gobert was again, there we go, just spoke before, he had the coronavirus. So he had that, and some comments came to light. So what did you think of this, Lewis?
Okay, so we're specifically talking about the fact that Donovan Mitchell, the reports came out that Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert's relationship was strained. So that's what we're referring to here. And I don't know. I think if this were the case where Donovan Mitchell is that upset with Rudy Gobert, when, it's been a month now since that happened, and they've only just sort of touched base now, Lamont and I sort of briefly discussed, maybe there was some locker room troubles beforehand, before this sort of came to light, and the coronavirus was just the breakthrough to that relationship breaking loose, I suppose. I don't know what the sort of analogy.
You could call it the tip of the iceberg, Louis.
It was the nail in the coffin.
Possibly.
No, what I'm saying, if there was an open rift about Rudy Gobert's, behavior and how he kind of handled, COVID-19 before he got tested positive and, as he got tested positive for it. But if there was such an open rift like it's being, broadcasted across the media, there surely had to have been something, there had to have been shaky from the beginning, not just because of, his behavior with COVID-19, obviously, which is serious. And, but Rudy has, fessed up to it, and he has apologized. And from him, some sources were saying, Rudy has recently spoken to Mitchell, and supposedly from him, he's saying that they're, all good.
Yeah, I don't know if they're all good. I think they've just touched base. But then didn't Donovan Mitchell go on like USA Today or something and just didn't even address it and just sort of completely blew off him and Rudy Gobert's relationship? So we're getting one source, Rudy Gobert, who's sort of, the catalyst behind all this, not to point fingers, but he was, the first player who contracted coronavirus. He then, was acting irresponsible, whilst not knowing he had coronavirus, and then has come out,
He wasn't taking it as seriously,
well, no, obviously not. Maybe, Rudy Gobert wasn't the only one not taking it seriously. A lot of the people at that time weren't taking it seriously.
The infamous mic touch. It didn't help.
Yeah, touching everyone's mics, kind of behavior like that.
We know the story, but anyway, he was the catalyst behind all this, and then I suppose you can refer to the Rudy Gobert game when, he shut down the NBA essentially for contracting the coronavirus, and then later reports came out that Donovan Mitchell contracted it. But we're getting one side of Rudy Gobert, who was like I keep the catalyst behind all this, saying, okay, yeah, Donovan and I are okay, all we want to do is win a championship, which I think is laughable. Not to get into basketball talk and other Utah Jazz contenders or not, but he's saying that they're all good, and then Donovan Mitchell isn't even addressing it, and all he did was sort of put out a tweet of them two being teammates. I mean, we've seen LeBron and Kyrie do that too, and look what happened there. Not to compare the two or the two situations, but I'm just saying, like, we see this all the time where two teammates are like, yeah, we're on good terms. But
you don't really ever see the stuff that comes through reporters when they're asked on the media, so I guess it's hard to know the exact situation of their relationship. But from what I've seen, Rudy Gobert is a bit of a hard person to get along with, and I'm Team Donovan, even if they're having any form of rift.
Why would anybody who's on an NBA team just outwardly say, go against what Rudy and Donovan are doing? Like, it's just politically correct. There's probably, they're bigger than themselves to an extent. Like, they're under contract, they play for the Utah Jazz, and it's just got to look even worse if they just start doing the blame game and that. So it's not surprising that Rudy Gobert is saying everything's fine, like we're good. What we're focusing on is the championship. To me, that just sounds like the scripted.
Sounds like some
yeah,
PR.
yeah, it sounds like the scripted card that needs to be said. So, like, at least they're going along with that. But yeah, it's not like I'm like, okay, everything's fine now. Probably isn't. If I contracted coronavirus and I saw that the person who originally got it was touching microphones and all that, I'd be a bit mad. So it's not surprising.
It looks pretty poor when you look back now that America has, 20,000 odd deaths due to coronavirus, and 2 months ago, a month ago actually, and now they're up to how serious coronavirus is. Like, if you didn't even like him in the slightest, that would really heighten the spike, and it would add fuel to the fire. So maybe that's also well, like maybe he didn't like him 5%, that happens, he doesn't like him 50%, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So are we saying that we don't believe Rudy in saying that they're okay? Or do you think that they are, they obviously have disagreed over this, but in terms of playing basketball and running it as a team and as a business, they're going to just continue as business as usual? Is it going to affect anything?
Well, I say that they're amicable. But they're not.
It's just interesting in the NBA because, like, say at your work, Vincent, if you didn't like someone, you go to work and you're amicable. It's not a big deal. But in NBA, that gets so huge because they're in the media. It's a sport. But at the end of the day, even if they don't like each other, it's a workplace. They go to work and they do what they do for a living. They play basketball and they just have to. Yeah. Obviously, there's things that strange the way they play when their relationship isn't great. But I don't know. I guess it's hard to know because we're not them. And us as the media, it's really hard to comment on a relationship when all you hear is different stories.
Yeah, but we got to imagine that Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert are the two best players on the Utah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It isn't just like Emmanuel Mudiay and Tony Bradley. This is the two best players on the Utah Jazz. These are two guys who would help them compete for a championship. So this is a serious sort of issue, I think, that the Jazz have to look at, and if they're really not on good terms, and by all means, the Jazz weren't playing that well. If you sort of remember going into the, ending this coronavirus situation, they weren't playing that well, and they had high expectations going into the season.
Yeah.
So do they?
A really quick question to take a really quick segue from this. If you were the head office and these two relationships were so strained that it couldn't go on, would you keep Donovan and make Rudy leave, or would you keep Rudy and make Donovan leave? Who would you pick?
I'd keep them both, repairing the relationship
in
terms of organisation.
Okay, Switzerland. Obviously, picking rectifying the relationship is the best option. But if you couldn't, if it was too badly broken, who would you keep?
Donovan,
yeah.
I would also keep Donovan Mitchell.
In today's NBA,
he's a future.
It would be more practical to keep Donovan Mitchell. I believe he impacts the game, or has potential to impact the game more than Rudy Gobert.
I just want to say the only Rudy Gobert we've seen is one on the Utah Jazz, right? And same with Donovan Mitchell. However, the Utah Jazz defense is structured to make Rudy Gobert look like the defensive player of the year, which he is a great defender. He's two-time defensive player of the year. But what if there's a defense that isn't structured towards him? Is he just a Roy Hibbert 2.0? I'm not comparing him to Roy Hibbert by any means.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, we've never sort of seen him out of that Quinn Snyder Utah Jazz system, which has made him so successful. And I have no doubt that he would be successful elsewhere. And he really started to play really well towards, he got coronavirus. However, I just think keeping Donovan Mitchell, being the younger player, he's a go-to guy. He's a scorer. He can shoot, he can slash, whereas Gobert is a defensive player who whinges and complains when he doesn't get enough offensive touches, and he isn't an offensive player. So I think for the Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell would be the better suited player to keep.
No, well said. Well, I guess time will tell.
Yeah, for sure.
The next bit of news for today is Gar Forman, the GM of the Chicago Bulls, has been fired after 22 years with the organization. He came on to Chicago in some sort of capacity in 1998. But he took over the team as GM in 2009. He saw some early success in his early tenure as GM, but in the last few years, we've obviously seen Chicago be rather trash. So obviously they got their coach, Fred Hoiberg, but the new coach, what is it, Joe Boylan or something? What is it, Boylan?
Jim Boylan.
Joe Boylan, yeah. They're not really seeing any more success with him, but I guess, Vincent, being a Chicago Bulls fan, you are a huge Chicago Bulls fan. What is your thoughts on this?
in terms of when did he start? 1998. He's been with them since 1998. I think it'll be a fresh start for the Bulls. Obviously the recent success, especially coming in 2018, 2019, being at the bottom. I think in terms of the Bulls, they're wanting to boost up their restructure and bringing in someone fresh. And
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he was the GM for the Denver Nuggets.
Arturas Karnisovas. Arturas Karnisovas. That's the guy.
What a name.
Obviously I haven't done a lot of research in his, career and what he can bring to the Bulls, but in terms of a Bulls perspective, and in terms of Boylen, I don't know how well this is going to go in terms of the Bulls restructuring the front of house, how his position looks as well at the moment. But I know that the Bulls are trying to refocus and rebuild and bringing in some fresh ideas, and he can take the team. I think it was time. I think for the Bulls, I think it was time for the front of house to kind of get shifted around and see how it goes. I think the Bulls can, go through a rebuild stage and be one of, I hope as a Bulls fan, for them to be a contender again. Consistently making, the playoffs would be nice, would be amazing. They just need to recruit more talent, and I think they need a little bit more innovation from the front of house. And I know that's ultimately why they've made this decision, trying to refresh the brand. So
it's pretty hard, isn't it? They've had a few good picks in the past, like Wendell Carter Jr., Lauri Markkanen. They just haven't really found that guy. Like since Derrick Rose, they haven't found the next superstar, which it would suck for Derrick Rose tearing his ACL, and that kind of put the franchise right on the back foot. And I feel like they've never recovered since then. They've just been trying to find the piece that overtakes that. Haven't been able to find. And that's hard. Rose was the MVP that year, and he led them to number one seed in the East, but they obviously just lost to LeBron James, which it happens to the best of us. So it's hard.
See, I disagree. I think this was a long time coming. It seems like a lot of Bulls fans didn't like the front office, and they wanted a change for a long time. And if you just think about what the Denver Nuggets have done in terms of their team in the past. When did Masai Ujiri move to the Raptors?
It was 2013, 2014.
Yeah. So since then, you see what the Denver Nuggets have done. They've built themselves into a Western Conference contender. They've drafted well. They've drafted Jokic, Murray. They've found some good, diamonds in the rough in, Torrey Craig, who played here in Brisbane.
Got Gary Harris as well through the draft.
Gary Harris has sort of fallen off of the face of the earth, but yes, he was productive for a little while for the Denver Nuggets. They've found some good pieces and a good coach in Mike Malone too. So this is just from the Denver Nuggets perspective. So now you're getting a fresh perspective, someone else who's making the decision for the Chicago Bulls, and I think that could be a timely change as well, because I would say your two best players in Markkanen and Levine aren't happy.
No. Levine especially isn't happy.
Markkanen's not happy.
Well,
Markkanen's come out and said he might want to trade. Jim Boylen, he doesn't like playing for Jim Boylen.
Because he has a college ball kind of attitude.
It doesn't work in the NBA.
No, it doesn't. And there are, more than just those two players that are unhappy with, his kind of methods. Making them do suicides and different things like that. Those kind of, college-style methods.
That's why they don't like him, suicides.
Yeah, suicides, mate.
Did you see at the beginning of the season he had one of those old clock-in machines when you go into practice?
Oh, the punch-in one.
Yeah.
With your slip.
The punch cards. Yeah.
To kind of put a footnote on this, it's a step in the right direction, fresh perspective, and Jim Boylen shouldn't feel safe. I think he's had his opportunities.
Jim Boylen's long gone. Jim Boylen compared Luke Cornett to Robert Horry.
Yeah, well, he'll be clocking out soon, all right, and taking the machine with him.
I just hope they can keep the players that, the key pieces that we have, and bring, hopefully bring a difference to
trade everyone except for Archie, mate.
All right, we'll do that.
Got to keep Archie.
See how we go.
Well said. Well, how about now we move on to our NBA players under 25 draft. So based off the name generator, our order is, with number 1 pick, it's Vincent, 2, Gianni, 3, Lockie, 4 Lewis, 5 Lamont. But what we're going to do is like a normal draft is then Lamont will have the 6th pick. So we go back up the order to make it fair. So Vincent, your team isn't absolutely loaded. So this is fair. So I guess with number 1 pick of the under 25 player draft, who do you pick, Vincent?
For the number 1 pick, I'm going to be choosing point guard Trae Young from Atlanta Hawks, who is 21 years old.
Hey, that's a bit of a curveball.
Yeah, mate.
Interesting.
I'm mixing it up. Trae Young, in my opinion, is the most exciting offensive player in basketball. One of the most exciting offensive players in basketball, and he's basically the only player under 21 to average 29 points. It's just going to be really exciting to see how he goes. So, yeah, for my number 1 pick, I'm going to go Trae Young.
Sweet. Number 2, Gianni.
I've got to go with the man from Slovenia, who's 21 years old. He plays for the Dallas Mavericks, and his name is Luka Doncic.
I just want to ask Vince, why did you pick Trae Young over Luka?
It's just likability for me. In terms of likability, that's the difference, mate. Obviously, the obvious choice would have been Luka, but I gotta throw a curveball in there, mate. Got to throw a curveball into the mix.
All right.
Just wait.
Another man's trash is another man's treasure, mate.
That's right. I'm not saying Trae Young's trash. I'm just saying like Luka is also averaging 29 points a game.
No, I absolutely understand where you're coming from. For me, it was likability. Who am I liking more? And I wanted to throw a little bit of a curveball, so that's my number 1.
I like it.
Oh no, look, Trae Young's.
Hey, yeah, man. He was going to be a pick of mine, so I can't do him anymore.
And yeah, I wanted to pick him out of you guys.
I'm Deloitte, mate. I'll lock you.
Number 3 pick. Now, I'd be doing myself a disservice if this wasn't my number 1 pick. If I had number 1 pick, I would have chosen the exact same person. And for the shooting guard position, I choose Devin Booker.
Bastardo.
I don't really have. If you want to know why I picked him, this isn't that every podcast I've ever made before this one, and you'll probably find out why.
He's saying to the listeners, go back and listen to the other podcasts. So.
You'll find out why I chose Devin Booker. All right, well, with the number 4 pick, who you pick, Luke?
To me, this is pretty obvious. I'm surprised he's kind of still on the board, but not really because Spready is a Suns fan. I'm going to take Ben Simmons, 23, the Australian.
Too easy.
Leads the league in steals. Could be the defensive player of the year and is... I'm going to say better than Joel Embiid.
Better than Joel Embiid, okay.
Okay.
Lamont, number 5 pick.
Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, okay. Good pick. That was going to be one of mine.
With my 2nd pick, I picked Miles Turner.
God damn it.
Nice pick.
Screw you, Lamont.
Right.
There's still a lot of good players left who I'm surprised are really still on. I'm going to go next. So I've got Ben Simmons. I suppose you could say he's a point guard. Can't shoot. So I'm going to base my team around trying to win this thing. So for that case, I can't pick my next guy who I really wanted to pick. Ben Simmons also needs the ball in his hand, so I'm leaning towards another player. I'm going to pick Karl-Anthony Towns, who's actually 24 years old.
You know what? He was actually who I was going to pick next because I wanted the the friendship dynamic in my team with the Karl-Anthony Towns and Devin Booker friendship.
Louis Beecher, mate.
But then again, I'm sort of contradicting myself because, Ben Simmons does play with Joel Embiid and everyone's saying, oh, they're that good. But Karl-Anthony Towns, a sniper from 3 this season. Has anyone seen how good he is shooting from 3-point land in this season? He shoots 41% from 3. I'm quite happy pairing him next to Ben Simmons.
Yeah, mate. He fits very well in today's NBA. Strong team so far.
With the next pick, I am going to have I'm going to choose the powerful position. I'm going to take Zion Williamson. Thank you very much.
I had a feeling you'd pick him.
I wanted to pick him, but it doesn't shoot the ball that well.
Yeah, I thought. I'm surprised how early he actually got picked. So.
Well, not because when all the people look at our list and we put them on our Facebook page, they're like, "Oh, Zion, yes, that's the guy."
Too easy.
All right, Johnny.
Well, I've got to go with someone who bleeds green, and he is from St. Louis, Missouri, mate. I'm going to go with Jason Tatum.
Oh,
he's 22 years of age. He's the star player of Boston Celtics, and be a great addition to my team.
Yeah, no, that's good. Good pick.
Yeah, mate.
Good pick. What do you reckon? With your 3rd pick? Who are you picking?
You ruined my Pelicans run. No. So I'm going to go with someone that's had a basically taken off in his first season with the Pelicans. I'm going to be going with Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, nice.
Yep, 22 years old, Brandon Ingram is.
Yeah, mate, he's our age.
First pick, Johnny.
For my third pick, I'm going to go with a 21-year-old from the Bahamas, DeAndre Ayton. He plays for the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, damn it.
Ooh, good job, Johnny.
Really, really sucked. Okay, with my next pick, what I was going to do is I'm going to continue with the friendship vibe and, having friends and keeping everyone's spirits on the team well. I'm going to pick D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, nice.
D'Lo.
I don't want any defense in my backcourt. I just want all offense. Louis.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just working out who's left here on my list. You guys have got a bunch of scrubs, man. With my third pick, I'm gonna go. I got Ben Simmons, Carthy Towns. Give me Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, fuck.
Screw you, Lewis.
You could have picked him.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
I was saving it.
Lamont. Third pick, Lamont.
Third pick, I picked De'Aaron Fox.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh, okay. Nice. Good pick.
Steve. Whatever, you get another pick.
I'll go again?
Yeah. Just like you did before.
Excellent. My fourth pick, I picked Domantas Sabonis.
Oh,
yeah.
look,
Nice.
bloody hell,
That's a good
Lamont.
one.
Bloody Lamont, mate.
Where did I have him written down? I had him written down here somewhere. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's my fourth pick. I'm gonna go Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Right, well, with my next pick, I want a bit of size and a bit of defense, a bit of all-around kicker. I'm going to choose Jaren Jackson Jr. from Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, I'm going to stick with the Memphis grind, and I'm going to go Ja Morant, 20 years of age. From
Okay.
South
Rookie of the
Carolina.
year this year. He actually went surprisingly low. I thought he would have gone higher.
Yeah, I know. I just realised he was still available.
So you get the back-to-back Vincenzo.
Yeah, I'm going to go twice now because I've got three. So, who have I got? I got Trae Young, Bam Bam, Brandon Ingram. I'm going to go with a power forward. I'm going to go John Collins in the Hawks, 22 years old.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
Averaging about 21.6 points a game. He's a good rim protector, 10.1 rebounds a game as well.
Yeah, man. Good, solid pick. Young buck.
Terrible on-ball defender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we working with what we got, and he was on my list down the bottom.
You got another pick, mate?
Yeah.
That's just unfair, mate. Back to back.
Look,
You actually need a guard. You need a guard. I'm looking at your team right here.
I'm having a look with what I got.
There's a guy who comes to mind who you'd be foolish to pass up on.
I'm gonna go with another guy from Miami, Kendrick
Ooh,
Nunn.
you didn't.
okay,
You stuffed
interesting.
up, mate.
Interesting.
You missed out. You missed out on a much better guard than that.
That's all good, mate.
Okay, it was my pick.
Yeah, go on, Johnny.
No, I'm going international, mate. He plays for Dallas, and his name's Kristaps
Yeah, I'm
Porzingis.
surprised he lasted this long, to be fair.
Oh, is Porzingis? I thought it was. Oh my god, I'm such a loser. I thought he was gone. I have him crossed off. I'm in another universe.
Not paying
I have
There
him
you
in
are.
another universe.
Yeah, mate. Too many calls.
Yeah, with my pick, I need a forward as well. I got all my guards, small forwards, and my center. What I need is a small forward, and I'm going to go with Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, nice. Good job.
I was deliberating between him, but then I saw Kristaps, mate.
So I have
Yeah.
my fourth pick.
Yeah, bro. No, wait.
Oh,
What?
this is your final pick. This is your
This is
final
your
pick.
final pick.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. It is my final
Yeah.
pick. I apologize. In that case, I'm gonna go. I'm down to two players.
You need a forward.
Need a good shooter. Nah, I need a shooter as well. I'm gonna take Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
There's a player here who we're all missing who is like on a really good team, but I won't say anything. I'm sure Lamont will pick him up.
probably not. Last pick, I'm going to take Brandon Ingram.
He's
got,
already
mate.
gone.
Vinny took him.
That's tough, mate. Sorry, mate. That's my bad. I apologise.
Mate,
Edit
he's
that
not listening.
Mate.
Who do you think?
Jaren Jackson Jr. Senior.
I already got him. I already got
Picked
him.
him, mate.
Oh, mate. I was definitely keeping up with crossing off anyone.
Clearly.
At least he didn't cross up for Zingis, mate.
Give me Laurie Markkinen.
Okay.
Oh.
There we go.
Solid pick.
You know what? You know who didn't go in our draft?
Who?
Jamal Murray.
Yeah, I know. Jamal Murray,
Oh,
Lonzo Ball. He didn't get picked either. Could have been a
Yeah,
point
true.
guard.
Yeah, look,
What
I'm
a
not.
young guard.
He is.
So what we've done here is we all have our teams, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to put these teams into a graphic and put it on our social medias, and our trappers can vote for, if they were to hypothetically verse, which team would win, team is their favourite, just that kind of thing.
I've got the best.
Yeah, but looking at all the teams now, I definitely think I've got the best team, but you guys
I don't
think...
know. Gotta disagree with that one,
No.
man.
But this just highlights there's a lot of good young talent in the NBA, and the NBA is safe and secure for many years to come, brimming with talent and exciting basketball players.
Yeah, for sure.
Who was a player that you thought was under 25 but wasn't?
Oh,
Giannis.
No.
Or Nikola Jokic.
no,
Yeah,
he was
Zach
he was
Levine.
he was one who surprised me. That was actually like 25.
You know,
Because he looks old.
And Clint Capella as well
Pascal
was 25.
Siakam.
Is Siakam under 20?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
No, he's 26.
No,
Who
he's
is
26.
Over 25.
Oh, well, Clint Capella. He's like 25.
LeBron
he
James.
looks 28, man.
LeBron James, man.
How is
He's a
that going
spring
not
chicken, that
25?
LeBron James.
Pardon?
His body's 25.
That wraps up our NBA players under 25. And you know what is interesting, which I actually should have said at the start of this segment, which this actually fit the 5.
Yeah, 55 is a segment.
Yeah, this is our segment, Fit the 5. This is another fan favourite. I just totally blanked on mentioning that.
Yeah, man.
I didn't want to correct you, but yeah.
Yeah, Fit the 5. Yeah, we have Fit the 5. And yeah, as we said, we'll be putting those up on Facebook for you guys to look at and let us know which one's the winner. And I just want to quickly note that next week we're going to be through our mailbag. A couple of questions come in, which we are going to answer in this podcast. So make sure everyone's listening out for that. And if you want to send us a message or anything, Louis, where can they do that at?
The best possible place is probably either on one of our social medias, so you can DM us on Instagram and Twitter at TTPMBA. That is the little @ TTPMBA. And then you can send us an email if you like at thetrappodcast@gmail.com. That is the Trap Podcast with 1P @gmail.com. And then finally, Facebook, you can send us a message on Facebook or comment on one of our myriads of posts, just at the facebook.com/TrapNBA podcast.
There's our socials, guys, and it's been a fantastic episode.
Sure has. It's been a pleasure.
It was great to have you back on, Lamont. Hear your voice.
It's been a ride.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, man. You know, we're struggling here during coronavirus, but it's good to hear you.
It's going to be good when we're all back in the same room again. This conference call nonsense is
Let's just say everyone, all our listeners need to thank you for bearing with this audio quality. It will improve in the time to come.
Yes,
Can't get any
sure.
worse. So
Yeah, it is, because there's
we-
probably a little bit of a delay as well.
Yeah.
yeah, there is.
there you go. There's been another episode of the Trap NBA podcast. Anyone got anything to say, or are we wrapping up?
I love you all.
I just want to say to our listeners that for the moment we're only uploading to YouTube just for financial reasons. We'll just leave it.
So
up.
if you want to fund us,
YouTube is the only place you'll be able to find us at the moment.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see you all back next week on YouTube for another episode of the Trap NBA podcast.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
See you later.
see ya.